The following takes place between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. on October 27th, 2013.
Well, hello, people. Welcome to the maiden voyage of the French Fanboys. My name is Mark Doucette. What? The maiden voyage? You don't like that?
That's fine. Yeah,
That's fine.
This is a great way to start this.
Sitting to my left is...
Jeremy Richard.
I'm just gonna go with Remy. I'm not gonna say my fucking last name. People are gonna be like, "What the fuck did he just say?" Remy. Yeah.
I'm Troy.
There you go.
There we go.
Two first names and two others.
So please send all your complaints. If you're listening to this and you have any issues with this podcast whatsoever, you can email them to Jeremy Richard. He'll give you the address and everything at the end of the show.
I'm just gonna call you Woody. You know I'm gonna call you Mark.
That's fine. All right.
Speaking of that, did you even introduce yourself yet?
Yes,
Yeah, he said Mark.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Pay attention.
Sorry.
This is going so well.
So this is how it's gonna go. From
This is going to be an interesting hour, I think.
It'll be an experience for sure. So what are we doing? We basically decided, hey,
we're talking.
about
And here are words.
yes.
It was
They
not
are being recorded.
Vent.
Yes.
That's
Will
all
be
this
posted
was.
online.
This is therapy. It's cheaper
is.
than therapy bills, really.
Actually, it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a podcast. You know, it was your idea, wasn't it, Woody?
It's kind
To
of
do
throw
this?
about.
About all three of you, right?
Kind of, yeah. I'd start. And then
It started last fall, actually.
It started 2 years ago. One summer evening.
The idea kind of died down, and then
what had happened
Kinda.
was...
kind of came back
Here we go.
last summer, or this summer, I should say, and been in the planning stages for the past 2 months.
There were many rumblings, I guess.
Yeah. Now we finally got the four of us together, sitting down.
Smarten the F up.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And talk about nonsense.
That's right. So basically
we-
anything geek culture. We're talking movies, we're talking TV, we're talking music, we're talking video games. We'll be going on probably many tangents. Just
We love to hear the the sounds of our own voices.
that's right.
Not as much as I do, but...
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So let's get this show on the road real quick. What have you guys been up to this week? Mark.
Well, went to the movies, went to see a movie which will go down the list here,
Yeah.
but
I was with you.
yeah.
Last night we saw a movie. We'll talk about it later.
Glad you guys didn't invite anybody else to go with you.
Oh, like you would have seen that, asshole.
I know, I probably would.
There you go. So shut the mother up. So yeah. So okay, guy watched a little bit of movies. Jeremy, did anything interesting this week?
Well, I'll probably talk about it later on, but did go to the Halifax Pop Explosion. For anybody that's familiar with it, I'm just going to cover or go over that really quickly more towards the end of the show when we're covering the music.
Okay. Troy.
Basically, just watched a lot of TV because I had free time.
There you go.
So,
I also watched a lot of TV, some movies, play video games. I did a lot of things. I don't have kids, and I'm not in a relationship, so I'm very free to do anything I want.
Single ladies.
Single and ready to mingle.
The single ladies.
So let's dive right into it then.
you should never sing again, by the way. Just to
Put
point
your hands
that-
up.
Oh, boy.
No?
No, you should
Okay.
never sing again, especially on the air.
Oh,
Leave that for
tiptoe.
your car or the shower, okay? Don't never again
Well,
in public.
He's the only married man here, so
That's
he's the only one that followed Beyonce's
That's right.
advice.
I put a ring on it.
If he liked it, he put a fucking ring on it.
He did put. I was there. True story.
Another thing I wasn't invited to.
I don't think even you two knew each other back then.
Oh, we did.
We
not
did.
as well.
No.
Yeah, you guys didn't work. That's what happens when you work together. Huh?
That's right.
We worked together. I think
You
we
know,
knew each other for about, what, a month before you got married?
That's right.
I was very insulted I wasn't invited
I'm
either.
sure you were.
So let's dive right into it. We got a lot of stuff to cover over movies. So we'll start with that. So Jeremy wanted that. He had a few reviews that he wanted to talk about, and there's a few old movies. Now, don't get us wrong, okay? There's a lot of movies that I haven't seen that are old, and everybody's like, "What the fuck? You haven't seen that?" I'll just throw this out there right now. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings.
I haven't seen it either.
Holy
You,
crap!
listen, you don't have. There's not enough time in the rest of your life to watch that. Okay, like.
Yeah.
Because now what you can get is the extended editions,
Is
and
there-
nobody wants to sit through 5.5 hours.
Isn't it like
of a
12
movie.
hours a movie?
Like,
Oh, it's at least
Pretty
3.5 hours each. Not 3.5 hours, but 2.5 to 3 hours each. So.
People walking.
That is true. There's a lot of walking. There's a lot of walking.
So that's an example. I have never watched fucking Lord of the Rings. Jeremy's gonna talk about a few movies that we've seen that he's never seen before, and that's fine. So Jeremy, go. The floor is yours, my good man.
Don't
Thank you.
F it up.
I will
No pressure.
do my best not to. The first movie we're gonna go over is Gravity.
See, that's new.
That is a brand new movie. It's in its 4th weekend currently. It's dominating the box office. I went to see it 3 weekends ago, actually. I want to say to anybody who hasn't seen it, please do go see it. It is a fantastic movie. You will not regret it. For those who haven't heard about it, it stars Sandra Bullock and George Clooney as astronauts. I believe it's 30 miles above the Earth, or I forget the exact number, but anyway, disaster happens. A cataclysmic series of events, you could say, and basically leaves Bullock and Clooney pretty much fucked.
Right up the ass.
Lost in space almost, except for a little. Well, it's actually a neat little gadget that George Clooney uses to ride around in space. It's kind of like a jetpack thing. I don't know how it
Did
works.
you see Clooney in the movie?
You see him quite a bit, yeah.
Okay, I thought he was like just the like the voice to calm her down and shit, like run her through situations. But okay, you do. See
Yeah,
him.
well, you do see him. He does do that also because he's experienced and she's in space for
A
the
newbie.
first time.
A newbie, rookie.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. So, like a lot of the supporting staff, it's all just radio voices, right? Like there's a couple of other people too, right?
There's one other astronaut, and he doesn't last very long. That's kind of a spoiler, but
before spoiler alert, just so
well,
you know.
to be fair, it happens in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
This this by the way is a topic we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
But
Spoiler alert.
For now, we'll just go with the movie reviews and shit.
The only voice actor actually is kind of a guy who's known to play roles that have to do with NASA. It's Ed Harris.
Ed Harris.
Yeah, so he's basically playing the same part. You see him in Apollo 13. Exactly, but you don't actually see Ed Harris. You only hear his voice.
Okay.
So
That's what I thought Clooney was, but okay.
Oh, well, George Clooney is in space with Sandra Bullock. The special effects are amazing, just for lack of a better word. James Cameron himself, I read, actually said that it's the best movie set in space ever made. This is the guy who made Avatar.
Meet Pocahontas.
Pocahontas with really cool 3D, yeah, pretty much, or the New World, or whatever.
Fern Gully in space is what I thought.
Fern
Yeah.
Gully in space. Well,
But-
So-
if you liked Avatar, we're getting like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the next year and a half.
Yeah, I know, but he also made Aliens, which is a pretty fucking good space movie.
Well, let's be fair. James Cameron makes a movie every 7 years. He's worse than George R. Martin for Game of Thrones, writing his books.
True. He's gonna die before we get 2 more books out of him. So.
It's okay. He has enough notes so that when he dies, they can make books without him.
I did not know that.
Hopefully, because
That's what he said. Anyway,
Back on topic, Gravity.
Back on topic. Gravity.
Just the look of the movie is like something you've never seen before. Guaranteed, especially in a movie theater, especially in 3D. I went to see it at Empire Extra in Dieppe. Easily worth the price of admission.
Too bad we don't have IMAX.
Well, it's the closest
thing we're
the
getting
next
for
best
right
thing.
now, so.
IMAX would be even better for those who live in
Yeah,
the bigger
next
cities.
Space fucking environment. Would be awesome.
Exactly. Sandra Bullock's fantastic in it. She's really impressed me. I didn't think that she'd have the ability to carry the movie like she did. She did a really good job. It's directed by Alfonso Cuarón. His last movie was Children of Men, which was in itself a fantastic movie I watched recently. And I highly recommend it. It's gonna be probably a big hit at the Oscars too.
Probably. It's going to win a lot.
Probably be up for Best Picture, Best Actress, and probably going to win Best Visual Effects.
Yeah, well, what else did any of you see? Well, me and you saw Bad Grandpa last night, starring Johnny Knoxville.
You want us to go right into that?
Might as well
or-
just go right into it. give him a little break.
Well, I slept on it since then.
I have too, and I woke up this morning and I was still chuckling at you know which scene,
that's right.
the big one.
Yeah,
we're not going to spoil it.
It happens at the end of the movie,
and I've it's been so long that tears have come down my face while watching a movie like a comedy. That final scene was the big build up.
Yeah,
delivered.
Yeah, now
the balls on that kid.
This kid now. I was talking about this last night. The kid in this movie, and I know they don't do a best kid Oscar category, which I think they should have, like a young under 18 maybe kind of category.
There's always like a 7-year-old getting nominated for an Oscar anyway.
It's true.
And they always get overlooked by the DiCaprios and all and what you want.
This kid.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's the best kid since Looper. Remember the kid from Looper? How amazing he was in that movie.
Oh, he was creepy. That kid.
Well, he was creepy. He was good.
But like I said, it's not the fact that he was such an incredible actor. It's the fact that he has to keep a straight face in front of all of these shenanigans. He cannot break because that ruins the shot, and they have to wait for the next schmuck to come in and try it all over again. So.
And he was good enough to ad-lib stuff.
I know. Like, there's no earpiece in the guy's ear. No. Not that I could see. I was trying to look and see if there was anything in there.
The kid was improvising and had Johnny Knoxville cracking up. Like, you could tell legitimately Johnny Knoxville was laughing.
Yeah, there was parts they kept in the movie, actually, because it was just a genuine laugh, and they said, well, there's no way you're going to act that.
Now, people say, it's like Jackass. No. It's not. There's some elements a little bit.
It reminds me more of Borat. Am I wrong in assuming that?
No. It does remind me a lot of Borat Bruno style of movie. So
because they've interwoven like a story in between the gags.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a narrative going on.
Yeah, that's what I got from the previews too. It's the grandfather and this kid going to all these different places and just kind of
fucking off
things up. Yeah.
But if you're into the Borat style movie, I would suggest to go see it. If not, it is still worth a rent when it comes out on DVD.
I guess my only warning would be for this movie, and actually, don't watch the trailer. First of all, do not watch the trailer for this movie. Second of all, I felt a lot of the gags were funny, but I always was laughing in anticipation for something even bigger to happen, and that payoff didn't really happen. I still laughed during the whole movie. I'm not saying that, but I almost felt like there's certain points they could have almost even taken it further, and I don't know if they just were afraid for liability or things like that. Like, I felt like Johnny Knoxville's been hit in the face with baseball bats and getting kicked in the crotch in every one of these Jackass movies. He gets so many people riled up. Why wouldn't he let them take a swing at him or punch him or something? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he can't take the punishment.
Well, he took a fucking beating from Butterbean.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Yeah,
exactly.
Butterbean beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
he's like, fuck it.
Well, why wouldn't he let, like, I mean, there's one specific guy, I think, like a New York or New Jersey type guy.
He almost did.
He almost punched him, but maybe I wouldn't have taken a punch from him. But like some of the old ladies get all cranky and stuff, swinging a purse.
Who would punch an old man, no matter how crass and vulgar he is?
That's the brilliant thing of it, I think,
Because it was an old man and a child. Who's gonna hit a child? Who's gonna hit an old man?
True.
Nobody.
That's probably why they did it, I guess.
Yeah, because like I was saying during the movie, like if it would have been one of the other Jackass guys as themselves, they would have got knocked out.
Yeah, there's like a strip club scene. If Jason, not Jason, what's his name? Party Boy.
Chris Pontius.
Chris Pontius, there we go.
Yeah. If Chris Pontius would have been in that scene, he would have get knocked out.
Steve-O, same thing, yeah.
If I saw Bam Margera walking on the street, doesn't matter if he'd be pulling a prank on me, I'd want to punch his fucking teeth out of it down his fucking mouth.
So, for the two that watch the movie, because I'm not a Jackass fan. I actually hate Jackass, but I like Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah.
So, if for someone who's not a Jackass fan going into this movie, would they enjoy it?
If you like the old man character, those parts of the Jackass movies, then by all means watch
it. It's
it.
like a spin-off.
So
that's right.
It's kind of like Jackass, but you don't have to be a fan to get into this movie.
Exactly.
No, it's not as gross as there's one or two gross moments, but Jackass usually has like 25% gross.
Yeah, Jackass. Gross, they had stuff. I mean, I've watched Jackass. I've never enjoyed it, but they've had stuff like who can drink a 4-liter
yeah.
jug of milk without puking.
Are you thinking about Kenny Rogers' Jackass right now, not the actual Jackass?
No, this is the actual
Jackass. Kenny Rogers' Jackass.
I thought you were going to say 4-liter jug of something else. No, I'm happy.
Milk. It comes from a cow. Milk.
Yeah.
So basically, anybody, if anybody wants to sit down for 90 minutes and laugh,
it's stupid. It's a stupid comedy.
But if somebody wants to go see like a great story told, don't go see
Bad Grandpa.
No.
Go see Gravity.
You go for the stupidity of it and the ridiculousness of it. That's okay.
Like I'm gonna go see Escape Plan probably next week. I'm not going there for the story. I'm going to go there because fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone.
So if you're going to give it a report card grade, what
Bad Grandpa?
What are you giving it?
Report card grade?
Like a B plus.
I'd give it a solid B.
Okay, I'm going B minus.
I'd give it a B. I give it a B just for that final scene.
Okay, you upgraded. What? Actually, just go back for Gravity.
For Gravity, I'd give it either an A minus or an A.
Okay.
The only negative things I could say about it is the movie, since it's set in space, it's pretty dark, and it's nice to see light at some point. Yeah. So you're in a dark room. It gets quiet.
How was the 3D? You watch in 3D?
Oh, the 3D is. It's probably the quality of the 3D is the best I've ever seen in any movie. Period. That includes Avatar.
They did also have this movie was in development for 4 years.
Yeah,
you can't forget that. That's a long development time for a movie. 4 years to make a movie.
It took quite a bit of post production.
Yeah, there's a lot of people from NASA too who weren't kind of perplexed at how they did certain things. They didn't even know how they did them.
Well, some scenes are just spectacular. Like one scene, for instance, you kind of see the sun set over Earth, and you see the city lights.
That's things you don't see.
You don't see that in the movie theater typically, and it's just
breathtaking.
It's eye candy,
because I am going to go see it eventually. So
I highly recommend it. It's 90 minutes. It flies by. It's great acting, great story. Like nothing you've ever seen in a movie theater before.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I watched a couple other movies. The first one I rewatched called The Master. Came out last September, actually, in theaters. Stars Joaquin Phoenix, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Amy Adams. Is written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, director of There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights, Magnolia. Hell of a storyteller. Anyway. The movie, as told by the perspective of P.T. Anderson, is that he wanted to make a movie that dealt with post-traumatic stress disorder and soldiers coming out of World War II and their experiences. But it deals with Joaquin Phoenix's character by the name of Freddie Quell. Upon the end of World War II, he's kind of a drifter. And he meets up in a chance encounter with Lancaster Dodd, the character played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, who is loosely based on L. Ron Hubbard. You know who it is. The creator, founder of the Church of Scientology, exactly. But in this movie, the religion or the cult, if you prefer, is called the Cause. So basically, Freddie joins the Cause, and it's basically the movie becomes about the friendship between Hoffman's character and Joaquin Phoenix's character. For this movie, it's not for everybody. It can be quite long. It's about 2 hours and 17 minutes.
I'll watch longer.
Yeah, it's not an epic, but basically, it deals with post-traumatic stress disorder, as I mentioned earlier. Basically, Hoffman's character is trying to cure Phoenix's character by using the Cause, which, if you know anything about Scientology,
I don't.
Well, I don't. Honestly, I knew very little about it, except that John Travolta and Tom Cruise will do just about anything for it. But I
Hold on a second. Should we be talking bad about Scientology? Couldn't they kill us if this gets on the internet?
Potentially.
Okay.
That's fine.
Keep going.
Who cares?
Let's assume they won't.
Okay.
Dangerously.
Let's assume they won't be paying attention to this podcast. But anyway,
talking to you, Tom. Listen up,
basically,
John Travolta, I see you.
Basically, the cause it delves into the whole past lives belief system. That if you go back into and discover the experiences you lived in your past lives, it'll explain or make you better understand what your future entails. So using that, he's trying to cure Phoenix's character, and the acting, I must say, is absolutely fantastic. Phoenix is unbelievable. He's an amazing fucking actor.
He's got another one to finish.
Your next one is
60
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Black Hawk Down.
Go.
That's why it's only 2 minutes.
Black Hawk Down. I watched it for the first time. Directed by Ridley Scott. I thought I'd watch one of his older movies because of one of his newer movies was coming out called The Counselor. Now, Black Hawk Down, it's a war movie, obviously. For those who haven't seen it, it basically deals with one long battle that occurs in Somalia as the Americans are trying to liberate the country from the evil warlord who's using starvation against his own people. It's 2.5 hours long.
So was Jeremy's review of this movie? No, sorry.
I have 2 minutes. I have 2 minutes. I'm going to cut it down in post-production, okay? Most of the master is going to go on the cutting room floor.
I think all of the master is going on the cutting room floor.
It's a complicated movie. There's a lot to talk about. Okay? Okay, Black Hawk Down. It's got a big ensemble cast. It basically takes place over 24 hours. There's just one long battle scene for those who want to see modern combat, modern warfare depicted on screen. I recommend it because it's really well done. Extremely violent, which
Yes,
I personally enjoyed.
It is violent.
Although Ridley Scott's a British director, it kind of seemed to me like it was one of those America fuck yeah movies.
America.
The Somalians aren't really depicted in a positive light. The Americans are
of course
depicted as every single soldier fighting that war is a fucking God-fearing, church-going hero. Okay. But overall, it's very entertaining. I would recommend it. My review for The Master, B+.
Yes.
And Black Hawk Down, I would give it a solid B rating.
All right. Now, my turn.
That's right. Remy, you're
I
up,
saw
buddy.
another movie this week. I saw Carrie. The remake of Carrie. Has anybody seen the original Carrie?
I have not.
I have seen the original.
You've seen the original Carrie. Have you seen the original
I
Carrie?
saw it about 15 years ago.
It's been a long time
I don't
ago, but I've
remember a
seen the
goddamn
original.
thing about it.
I've seen it same here. I've seen it when I was a kid. My siblings loved that movie. I watched it with them. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I rewatched it again before I saw the remake, and I watched it again after I saw the remake.
You did
Just
homework.
because I wanted to see
So
You
you saw
did
the
your-
so
so
you
you
saw
did
the
your
original.
homework.
You
I
saw the
saw
original.
the remake, the original.
So original, remake, original in
So
that
you can
order.
really compare.
In that
Okay.
order. Okay. I saw the original like a day or two before.
Yeah.
Then I watched the remake, and then as soon as I got home, I watched the original again.
Yeah.
Because it was still fresh in my mind. I wanted to see. It is probably one of the best remakes I have ever seen.
Wow.
Yes.
High praise.
From what
High
I got
praise.
from like critics' reviews, it's not so much a remake where it's more just of an homage
Or,
Yes.
Or reimagining. Maybe.
to what they did.
My sister saw it before me. She came back, and I'm like, oh, how was Carrie? She said, imagine the 1976 movie with today's budget.
Yes.
Because that's what they wanted to do.
Because there's a lot of like telekinetic abilities or something.
Yes,
That's
that's
what
what it
all
is,
remakes are, basically.
Not really,
Not-
'cause, I mean, we can touch on it.
And we are going to
Finish
talk
your
about it.
review.
We're gonna
Yeah.
review it.
Some of them are truer to the original source.
Yes,
Sure.
this one is true to the like. If it doesn't have a big rating, it has like a 6 point something on IMDb, but I don't give a fuck. I give that like high. It's a high rating for me. I give it an A.
All right.
The movie itself, it's what, a 2 hour.
It's
2.5 hours?
no, it's not an hour and a half.
I love how you guys are all of a sudden asking questions now instead of just snickering while I was giving my reviews.
How am I supposed to ask questions about that goddamn
Are you
movie?
not interested about the Church of Scientology?
If you talked about E-meters and Tom Cruise for 30 minutes, maybe we would have had something.
Back on
jackass.
topic.
Yeah.
On topic, Carrie.
Now, What do you remember about Carrie?
Oh, the prom scene it's the ideal classic. That's Carrie.
Pig's blood.
Pig's blood and the prom scene.
Pig's blood, prom scene.
That's Carrie.
But enough about your weekend.
Yeah.
Vagina. Blood coming out of the vagina.
Yeah,
in the shower scene.
shower scene. She has her first period. In
That
gym
happens.
class.
That happens. It happens the same way.
She's getting pelted with tampons and stuff.
Yes, that happens. Though they took the 1976 movie and they updated it to today's standards. So when she's getting pelted by fucking tampons, there's one girl filming it with her phone. Because it's like it's the new school of cyber of bullying.
Was there product
Social
placement
network.
for the tampons?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Because you know that's today's standards of bullying, right? Is cyberbullying.
Yeah.
But yeah, she bleeds. She has her first period. Everybody laughs at her. All the characters are the same. The fuck are you doing?
That didn't work.
Can you
Because your
stop?
volume's off. What's wrong with you?
What is the Law and Order thing have to do with it?
Or bling
It's a
bling.
horror sound.
Horror sound.
You know, it starts.
The worst horror sound
It
ever.
starts differently than because the original starts where they're playing volleyball and whatever. This one starts off as you see the mother giving birth to Carrie. She knows that, like, God told me to kill you and I didn't. Well, you see that.
Okay.
All right. There's a lot of stuff that's in the book that they didn't put in the original, but they did in the remake, which kudos.
How would you compare Chloe Grace Moretz's performance to
Sissy Spacek? Sissy Spacek was creepy.
Say that 5 times fast.
And Chloe was... I thought at first she was a bit too cute to play Carrie. She does a good job.
But she's Hit Girl. How can she be all cutesy wootsy?
But she does a good job of playing the victim.
She'd be too attractive or good looking, in my opinion, to be an outcast. I have a hard time bullying her.
Yeah,
but it
there's
works.
ugly and there's Hollywood ugly. You can't go too ugly. You got to have Hollywood ugly. Is she Hollywood ugly
That's true.
in this movie?
Yes, she's Hollywood ugly in this movie.
Yeah.
Now, there is no nudity, because back in the day, they could get away with that. Today, you can't get away with teenage nudity.
Oh, that's right. You see Sissy SpaceX,
SpaceX,
which is not
Sissy SpaceX. You know,
Yeah.
you don't see it because technically Chloe is a teenager. She
no
is.
offense to if you're listening, Sissy
So
SpaceX.
you can't show her naked.
No, but you can do what every other
She's a
female
minor
in
still.
Hollywood does.
Yeah,
CG.
yeah,
Was the original Carrie rated R?
yes.
Well,
Okay.
it would
Yes.
have to
And
be.
I don't know.
And this one was too, because the prom scene. Ooh,
Violent.
I figured it may have not been rated R because there's a lot of movies back then.
That's what they wanted to do back in the day, and this one they blew it out of the park. There's less child abuse in this movie.
Well, I'm out.
In the original one, the
Well, you're a
fucking
sick bastard.
in the
anyway,
original one,
so
the
it
teachers
doesn't
just slapped the shit out of
I'm not
everybody.
watching this one now.
Apparently, child abuse is taboo nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, it was great. The pig's blood is in there. The prom scene is in there. The way she gets her revenge. The whole time I was watching the movie, I'm like, fucking get him! That's what I wanted. I wanted her to go fucking crazy. And when she does, holy shit, does it pay off.
She goes crazy.
She goes crazy.
Speaking of Carrie, the original 76 version, John Travolta.
Yes,
is in
John
it.
Travolta
Yes.
is in it. Yes,
Scientology.
John
Rearing its
Travolta.
ugly
they
head.
Ooh, look at that!
Once again.
I like I never thought I would mention this about his review of Master, but that was a very nice segue that you just did there. That was
Nice
really,
callback,
that was good.
as they
To
say in the business.
To get revenge, I'm gonna name drop the master somehow in every single topic when we're into video games.
Fun little fact before we go into our remakes discussion: Sissy Spacek was on board to play Carrie's mother at one point.
Really?
Yes,
Then-
but
oh, that
she
would've
dropped
been-
out and Julianne Moore
Yeah,
signed
switched
on.
to Julianne
And
Moore.
Julianne Moore is fucking. I just got the chills because she's fucking creepy.
She's a
She's
good
a
actress,
great
though.
actress.
She's a great actress.
She is a god nut.
I think Julianne Moore should be now called Sloppy Seconds because Jodie Foster backs out. She takes the place.
Well, that
This
just
one
happened
backs
in
out.
Hannibal.
Takes the place.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess.
She's Sloppy Seconds.
She's Sloppy
Julianne Moore.
Seconds.
Yeah.
Yep. So overall, Carrie, I give it an A. Go see it. So yeah, it's good. And that leads us into our remakes discussion. Remakes. So that for me was the ideal homage. You said it right.
It's an homage.
It's more of an
It's not a
homage.
remake.
Let's talk about a remake that you've watched. I've watched recently. I have it. I'm looking at it right there
On your shelf.
on my shelf.
Looking
It's on the
sexy.
first. It's on the first
The
one.
Evil Dead.
There it. No. That one. Yep. There it is.
The Evil
The
Dead.
Evil Dead.
Of course, our listeners cannot see this box.
No.
This is
So-
this is great pod. We're just showing a DVD right now.
Yeah, because I
It's a Blu-ray.
I purchased all the
Oh,
Evil Deads at HMV for like $30.
Good deal.
So the Evil Dead. That's a remake that was done. What did you think about it? Because I'm gonna tell you what I thought about it after.
Well, you know.
Did you two see it?
No.
No. Okay.
I have an issue with remakes. I don't watch them.
Okay.
I have an issue.
Is there a reason why?
I've seen the couple that I've seen, and it's always only horror movies that they ever remake. They don't remake.
Mostly it is you're mostly gonna see a horror
That's
movie.
it, 'cause
We
there's-
saw a trailer for one yesterday. That's not really a horror movie.
Because
but
I was
anyway, go
thinking
ahead.
this a while ago, whenever about the topic. No, nobody's remaking. Gone with the Wind.
No.
Nobody's remaking. Hell, even just in the '80s, Ghostbusters. Nobody's remaking, right?
They just want to make the third one.
That's
for
it.
20
They-
years now.
They fucking remake King Kong like 60 times.
Well,
Good example, but
the
let's be
1933
honest, the
King Kong.
Peter Jackson King Kong was pretty good.
I
It
thought
was.
it
was.
was
It was
good.
pretty
It was
good.
It was
Yeah,
a lot better than the 76, I think, King Kong.
With
Anyway. The 76?
yeah, who
Jeff
was in
Bridges.
it? Jeff Bridges, yes, with the long hair there,
Yeah.
and the beard.
Yeah.
So you don't
Dude.
watch remakes because you don't want to be spoiled the original,
That's
basically.
it. I don't
right?
want it to ruin your
Okay.
I'm a Friday the 13th fan.
And you didn't watch the? Did you
I
watch the?
did
remake?
watch the
You-
remake. I
because
did,
you're a fan.
Because I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I had issues with certain, I liked it. It was
Yeah.
an okay remake. It
Yeah.
was fine because they took 1, 2, and 3 and kind of crammed
crammed them all
into
together.
one and took the best pieces. My issue with the whole movie was just the way he killed people. It became monotonous.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. I'm going to impale you on this. I'm going to impale you on that. It wasn't creative. It wasn't a creative way of killing.
Like he used to. Like in the old
Exactly.
ones.
Speaking of Evil Dead, the violence, I wouldn't say it's creative, it's extremely bloody and gory, so for people who do like to see that sort of thing.
Because I mentioned in Carrie, the original, basically what they did today is what they wanted to do back in the day. This Evil Dead, that's what it felt like. Sam Raimi wanted to do this in the 80s, but he couldn't because he didn't have the budget.
Exactly.
Well, he didn't have anywhere near the budget, but
No.
he still did a pretty
'Cause-
amazing
Because
job.
what was a horror movie turned into a black comedy.
Yeah.
This is full-blown, the remake is full-blown horror.
Well, I think Sam Raimi actually intended it to be like a
Oh,
black
absolutely,
comedy.
yeah.
Then these guys took themselves a bit more seriously in their depiction of the story itself,
Why the comedy got to be black, yo?
because it's a horror movie.
Did you take your medication before coming here? Sorry. Seriously.
Now,
Okay,
like,
but hold on a second.
Yeah.
The whole remake thing that's annoying you. Where do you draw the line between remake and reboot? There's plenty of reboots out there that are fine. Is that a remake? Is that
There's a lot of reboots, yes.
A reboot and a remake is you're taking the original story, you're keeping certain key elements, and you're just twisting it and giving. But a reboot is usually whenever you have a franchise, it's gone well. Take Batman. You have a franchise.
Spider-Man.
It's gone. Spider-Man. The main actor's dropped out. It's kind of hard to continue on with that story without that actor. So it's
Sean Connery, Roger Moore, George Lazenby.
okay, yes. Get your heart on.
who's
for-
George
George Lazenby.
Lazenby? Didn't he do the one?
He did the
movie?
one, yes.
Well, you shouldn't name him then.
Well-
Name Timothy Dalton.
I was getting there. I was doing. I was coughing. My
Pierce
cough,
Brosnan.
My cough took
Pierce
a long
Brosnan.
time.
Daniel Craig.
But yeah, once Pierce Brosnan got in there, that's kind of when those movies started to.
Yeah. Hey, it brought us GoldenEye on the N64.
Hey, it did.
How dare you sit here and ruin my Roger Moore experience?
I did. I'm talking about Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan ruined it. You're right.
There.
Okay, he
No,
ruined
no.
the franchise.
Whoa.
GoldenEye was fine. GoldenEye was
Because of the
fine.
video game, not the friggin' movie.
That's true.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. The movie was
God
only
damn.
good because of the. If it
I
wouldn't
seem to have fond memories of GoldenEye, particularly
If
because
that-
the
it's
video
over
game
there.
might have been
If that
It's on my
video
shelf over
wouldn't have come
there.
out, I don't
Classic.
think the movie would.
No one would.
Successful.
No one would remember the
Absolutely.
movie
Absolutely
if
not.
it wasn't for that game.
Absolutely not.
What do you Die Another Day? Like easily the
Yes,
best
we had-
Bond movie.
The world is not enough. Probably the best. No, so that's a discussion for another
Anyway.
time.
Yeah.
Evil
Sorry.
Dead.
Back to the topic again. Evil Dead. One thing I did like about it though, Now, I believe in the first Evil Dead, it's just a bunch of kids who go to...
They just go to a cabin.
They go to an extremely creepy cabin in the woods for no particular reason.
This one, there's a reason.
This one, there's a reason. The main character apparently has a very serious addiction to heroin.
Fucking bitch.
She is a crack whore. And they bring her to the cabin to rehab because she can't score crack.
Don't do drugs, kids.
From the bear and deer and wilderness.
So that makes sense, you know. They take her out to basically fucking flush her system out.
The heroin addict. We're gonna call her Harry for now.
How does Harry?
We don't. It doesn't matter. It's not important.
Yeah.
Is she the one that gets possessed?
Yes.
So that she's the one that gets fucked by the tree. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
One thing though that I will say for the Evil Dead remake that has far bigger budget, I thought in the original Evil Dead the tree raping scene is far scarier in the original than in this one. This one is just...
See, everybody who's seen the original and the remake, they say in the original the tree raping looks goofy, and this one looks more realistic.
I disagree. I thought this one was goofy with the whole, like, I don't know.
How is getting raped by a tree not goofy no matter how you look at it?
How realistic is it to get
Do you have any live documented sequoias
I
raping
have
people?
60 years worth.
60 worth of tree violating? Okay.
Show me the receipts.
When's the last time you've heard of a report of a tree raping somebody? Like,
it's clever, okay? Like,
I didn't say I saw one, by the way. I just said
okay.
the record. Well, you know any recorded history of
apparently
a tree.
he has it on DVD.
That's right.
Remy has it on DVD, so apparently it's happened.
it has occurred.
I have it right here.
Oh, it's a documentary, is it? I didn't realize that.
Thank God this is, the year 2013.
They have to figure
we
out...
have rape whistle apps nowadays.
They have to figure out a way to get this heroin addict possessed. How else would she get possessed?
Hello.
Bart, as we know, is very, very evil.
Okay, hey.
And an aphrodisiac, apparently.
And Ash in this movie, a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was fine.
So there's still Ash in the movie?
No, Ash doesn't exist.
No. I thought there's maybe another character named Ash or something.
There's someone who looks like him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But he's not Ash.
No, he's not Bruce Campbell.
He's what Ash was, and not that there's no Ash, but he's the placeholder for that character. Take this man out, put that person in.
Not really,
Not really, because Ash is not a man in this movie.
You kind of only realize towards the end. They pay tribute to like the future Evil Dead movies.
So if you plan on watching it, watch it. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
For Evil Dead fans, I'm sure you'd love it. But
yeah.
Any other remakes you guys
we saw
about?
The trailer for RoboCop yesterday.
Yes.
RoboCop.
I wasn't a fan of the idea at the start. I was really then I saw the trailer for it.
The trailer got me a little. I got a quarter chub.
Yeah.
Quarter chub.
Well, I love Michael Keaton in that movie. I love Gary Oldman.
Who does Michael Keaton play?
Sam Jack. He plays the boss.
He plays the scientist. The boss.
No, he's like the police chief. Isn't he like the head police guy? Maybe.
I think.
So he's playing his character from
Gary
the other
Oldman,
guys.
Gary Oldman plays the scientist, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, that's what I understood in the casting.
Because he's the one. Because Michael Keaton's like, oh, make the suit black.
That's the part I love because he started off as the old school RoboCop, and then he said, okay, we're giving people the old school look, and then just completely wipe that out and make them SWAT, make them all black. And I thought that was kind of neat.
Black.
I hate the look of the costume. It looks like the costume was made by a fucking Apple. It looks like the iRoboCop. It looks like the iRoboCop.
Yeah, but isn't it better than So you want the old RoboCop look, the tin can?
I honestly don't want the remake.
Okay, we don't want that's okay.
That's fine.
I think the original is very well done, even for today's standards. Like this special effects in the first.
Well, you know why?
Aren't cheesy.
Why do you think they make remakes?
To make money.
Yes, but there's I think there's more to it. What do you think they make remakes?
I don't know. I think
merchandise. It's to make money.
I think some people.
That's
that's the big thing. I think they.
Yeah.
I think
action figures.
I think they want to.
Well, RoboCop, who would...
It's new generations,
It's
right?
a franchise. It's not a movie. It's a franchise.
RoboCop's far too violent for it to sell like action figures.
You know what? You say that.
Unless
You
they
can sell
tone it
anything
down
to
to
friggin' kids.
PG-13.
Terminator 2 sold
That's
toys.
it.
I had those.
You
toys.
can sell anything to kids. Remember, they had a Police Academy cartoon. What do you think the Police Academy cartoon was based off of the movie? Remember how vulgar those movies were?
True,
You think kids are
true.
supposed to watch those?
But do you remember exactly how violent the first
Yes.
RoboCop movie was?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's extremely violent. It's by Paul Verhoeven, who's
But
well known.
it
for
doesn't
showing
matter
it.
how violent it is. A kid doesn't have to see a movie. If the
kid just-
toy is appealing to the eye, they're going to be all over it.
Oh, a
That's
robot, and it's a robot.
That's it.
like
Robot.
you just have to sell a kid on a trailer, and they don't even have to watch the movie. They
That's
see
it.
that I want that toy because of the trailer, shooting the guns. You know,
Like, let's put one of the key, since we're talking franchises and everything, one of the key movies in the 80s was Ghostbusters. Even before the cartoon came out. Toys galore.
yeah.
I know.
Right? And then the
But-
cartoon came, and then...
That, in my opinion, is what like is causing the slow death of the movie industry is merchandising
Yes.
and making movies so that they make enormous profits
It's true.
overseas
It's
and
true.
from action figures and video
It's the-
games.
It's the Cars phenomenon. How many other freaking Pixar sequels have you seen that? Where's the Incredibles 2? Where's friggin' how many years did it take for friggin' Finding Nemo 2? And yet they had
Finding
Cars
Dory.
2
And planes.
and Planes came out like 2 years
Stupid
apart
spin-off.
because they sell toys with the friggin' cars.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's true.
it's all about toys.
It's true.
God
I also
damn it,
think
those-
a little small part is that, it's a new generation. Not everybody wants to watch the old movies. Or like, hey, this used to exist back in the day.
Because if you take, today's youth,
Yes.
they're not in. They don't want to watch.
They don't want to watch old movies. They're like, oh, this is stupid.
That's it.
This doesn't look good. And
Same thing as when we watched black and white movies when we were kids. This is dumb.
exactly.
That's it.
And that's
You'll,
a shame.
you'll get
I
the
know.
you'll get the odd kid that'll be like, oh, I'm all about old school.
And these kids will grow up to mature and want to watch the old ones
That's it.
again. That's
Then they'll want to
fine.
go back and
Hopefully.
watch it, but
Yeah.
that is why it's probably
Probably go ahead.
catch their interest in the movie and then be like, oh my god, there was movies before, and go back.
I think
to
a
the
good
franchise.
example of this, when I said earlier that I've never watched Lord of the Rings, is because I tried when it came out. When did the first one come out?
2001.
Yeah.
First one came out in 2001. That's 12 years ago. 12 years ago, I was. I'm doing math. 16.
You're gonna date yourself.
I
Sherry.
was 16 years old. I didn't care about good storytelling when I was 16. I just wanted to see boobies.
Lots of them.
Now I've matured. I want to watch it because, it's good storytelling. Another good one, because me and Jeremy went to college together. I only watched The Godfather in 2006
See, I've still never
For the
watched
first
The Godfather.
because
You need to get on that.
I'm like, oh, it's an old movie. I'm not going to like it.
That one's worth the
I
time.
watched it and I loved it. It's 3 hours, but it was 3 hours well spent.
I just saw the one last year.
I'm not a big mafia person, so I don't know. It's,
I wasn't either. And I matured and I watched it and I'm like, okay, I like
But I
this.
am a movie guy, and I pretty much like the same stuff as Jeremy does. So if he liked it,
I recommend it to anybody. It doesn't matter if you're against crime or against gangster movies. The Godfather's required viewing for everybody.
Speaking of
Moving on.
horror,
Yeah. Whores.
Good segue
yeah,
segue, yes.
for Halloween.
Yes,
Um,
we're gonna talk a little TV.
Walking
horror.
Dead
Walking
season
Dead.
4.
I watch a lot of TV. Troy, this is
Troy.
yours.
Anybody else besides me watching The Walking Dead?
I am. Religiously.
I'm not.
No.
Sadly,
I
I'm
watch
not.
it religiously. It's on my PVR right now.
Very
You can
nice.
sit out on this one.
Well, I'm just gonna snicker by myself in the background while you're talking about your stupid zombie crap.
What
I'm
about
just
the
kidding.
match?
I'm just kidding. I do intend on watching The Walking Dead eventually.
Listen, you go diddle your master in the corner somewhere there, and
Do you intend on watching Game of Thrones eventually?
No, well, I don't know. I'm actually gonna talk about something related to Game of Thrones
Alright.
pretty soon. Though.
So, Walking Dead, what they're calling, and I believe it because the premiere for this season did 12.6 million views
Number one rated television
show
like scripted television show
on cable.
Really?
Thank God it beat that friggin' goddamn NCIS. I don't know any goddamn person who watches that freaking show.
50 people who have the
God
Nielsen boxes
damn
in the U.S. dominate what's on network television. They
Don't
are
even
the
get me
ones.
started on the friggin' Nielsen boxes.
Mark's an angry individual. You'll
I agree. NCIS can go suck a dick, And so can CSI.
Apparently, Jeremy is angry individual.
And so can Hawaii Five-0 for that matter. I know you like that show, but
I
fuck
do
that.
like that.
I like the Hawaii
That is a good
Five-0.
show. And we'll talk about that because this season is actually the best season they have.
Oh,
going.
sure.
That's another topic for another day.
That's
Back
a
to The
different
Walking
day.
Dead.
But back to The Walking Dead. I mean, we're what? Tonight would be the third episode in.
Yes.
Episode 1, 50 Days Without Incident is what it was
We're
called.
not going to talk about every freaking episode. are we?
No. But we're only 2 in, so we'll discuss a little bit, of what we've already, what's transpired, if you will, on the show this season. First episode was the 50 Days Without Incident. It was the bringing back in of this season where we have the residents from Woodbury, shacked up in the prison with Rick and the gang. That episode was really slow. It was
You know what though? That I find these last two
That's-
seasons.
that's
That's the same thing they did last season. There was always that first episode was freaking slow till the very end. Something. What the f happened?
The first episode of this season was, everything is so nice, everything's going so great until the shit hits the fan, and
That's
it
it.
does.
Same thing with last season. It was
Yes.
look at them. They're
But-
all the unity. They've
But
got
now,
their thing back together. and
after,
then,
after it hit the fan,
Yeah.
it continued.
That's it. But what was nice was they segued for the end of the episode at the
Yes.
beginning. A lot of people didn't pick up on it. They didn't realize that that's what they were doing.
Mhm.
But if you take a look at Rick working in the field, he pans in on that one zombie at the fence and he's bleeding from the eyes.
Mhm.
Everybody just thought, oh, it's a zombie. While he's staring at him.
he's sad.
That's it. He's sad.
But no, he's not sad.
No, he's not sad. Then we get to the end of the episode, and we have our first turn in the prison.
Yeah.
This is the first time it's ever happened,
Yeah.
and he is bleeding from the eyes, from his orifices.
And he didn't get bit,
Nope.
he just died.
And that's how the episode ends.
You're
Clean
like-
cut.
You're like, oh shit, somebody just died in the prison with all these people sleeping.
Is this season comparable in quality thus far to previous
so-
seasons?
So far, best season hands down. 2 episodes in.
Really?
It's the best season yet.
Come on, really?
Really?
You can say that 2 episodes in.
2 episodes in, I can honestly tell you it's the best.
Wow, you guys are more optimistic than I am. But anyway,
I'll say it right now.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm full on excited about watching tonight's episode when I get home. I'm not saying I can't say it's the best one 2 episodes in. You crazy?
I'll say that last week's episode, on a scale from 1 to 10, the only episode I would rate a 10 in the 4 seasons this show has been on TV. That's the first
You're
episode I would rate a 10.
You're exaggerating.
No,
You're talking about the show that you like live and die for.
that's right.
The first perfect score,
The
10 out of 10.
first perfect score, 10 out of 10.
In the history of the medium, you're saying that's the
No.
finest hour of television?
No, well, let's
No.
not
Okay.
get
For
carried
The
away.
Walking Dead,
All right.
to me, that was the best episode they produced
So far.
so far.
There's still, they have 16 episodes this season? They still got 14 to go.
That's it.
So,
And I'm dying a little bit every
like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure in the middle there's going to be slow episodes.
That's it.
And then the mid-season finale is going to hit, and then everybody's going to be like, oh, tits.
Because we still have the governor running around out there somewhere,
Somewhere.
right?
Yeah.
So there's stuff where the shit's gonna hit the fan even more.
Can I ask a question about the future of this franchise?
You can
Honestly, I just want to ask this now.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. In a franchise where, you've like compared to Game of Thrones, where there's a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Gotcha.
He's writing the books. There's going to be a final book, and that's it.
Yeah.
Walking Dead is based off a comic strip that is still in circulation.
Yes.
Is still being told with new stories.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way that this show has a series finale that honestly, you both look me dead in the freaking eye and you tell me there is going to be a finale to that series that is going to be satisfying to you? I do not think so.
So look you in the eye. Are you like going to governor style? You're gonna cover one eye up?
Yes,
there?
that's
Okay,
right.
Thank you. Okay.
How are you going to have a satisfactory ending for a show that, quite frankly, doesn't seem to have an ending in sight because there's no ending in the comic book? They're just going to create an ending for the show that's not in the comic,
Unless the comic has an ending.
which I don't see happening. It's
There's-
the most successful comic book. It's the highest selling comic book every year. The last 2 years, I think.
Yeah, it's
I-
one out.
Especially
don't-
I think 2012 for sure, or 2013. I can't remember one of them.
I don't see a satisfying end in sight. Unless they can...
Like they're spinning off the friggin' thing.
Unless you can prove me
Yeah.
wrong.
They're announcing a spin-off.
It is. It's
Yes.
2015. There will be a spin-off. Yes,
Yeah.
and
Well-
Kirkman himself has said it. It's going to be The Walking Dead in space.
They're only in season
That's a
4.
joke.
They've got at least 2 or 3 good seasons.
Like I don't want
left
this.
in
I
the
don't want.
tank
I don't want there.
soon.
I don't want there to be season 12 of Walking Dead.
The thing is with the movie, the TV, and the book is that they're not following it to a T.
No,
No, I
there
understand
are
that.
there are some elements they switch things up.
which is why I think the TV show is doing as well as it is.
Yes.
Because it's keeping the people who read
Yes.
the comic on their toes. They're changing stuff up.
Unlike Game of Thrones, where
Where
they
it's
pretty
pretty
much
much-
follow the book. Like, does anybody
They
watch?
changed
Game of
the
Thrones?
order.
Does anybody watch Game of
I
Thrones?
think
Yeah.
they just changed the order of
The
things.
Red Wedding.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
I didn't either because I didn't read the books. I recently just purchased the
Yeah.
books, all right, because I want to read them.
I don't want to read them, Matt. I don't want to read them now.
I want to read them just to see
If there's going
to
to be
get
stuff
to
like
get
that,
to get caught up, basically.
yeah,
Take about 4 years out of your life and
Yeah.
read the books because they never end.
they're phone books.
Yeah,
They're
they never-
the Red Wedding. Everybody who read the books knew that shit was coming.
That's right.
People who didn't read the books like me was like, the fuck did I just watch? And actually, I watched a video on Conan where George R. Martin's on there, and was it Conan? Yeah, it was Conan, and he was watching people's reactions to the Red Wedding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The people recording, the people who had no reactions were the people who read the books.
that's right.
The other ones were the girls were crying. Oh my god, how could this happen?
Yeah,
It was fantastic.
my jaw was wide open the whole
Yeah.
time. I'm like, holy crap.
But yeah, so if you've never read the books, if you watch Game of Thrones, it's fine. Same thing, Walking Dead. If you've never read the books and you watch the show, it's two different things. If you read the books and you watch, it's two different things.
So answer my question.
So
See-
if there's an end, like let's say to next season's the final season, I don't see a satisfactory ending.
Thank you.
I don't think
To
they would
me,
end it
there'll
that quickly,
never
though.
be a satisfying. It'll never be satisfying because you already know the outcome of how it has to end.
Here's a
Everyone has
question.
to die.
Rick has to die.
Yeah.
Because it's a story. You're following Rick. It's
Yeah.
his story. So for the series,
He's
to
the
end-
only safe character
That's
that
it.
you're like, he's
So
not
for
gonna die.
both to end, Rick has to die. So you already know the outcome, and we're just seeing how we get to his death.
Jeremy.
Here's a question though: has there ever been a TV show ever that has had a satisfactory?
Breaking Bad.
No, because a lot of people were like, "What the f is
No.
going on?"
No,
I was-
no.
I-
I've always. Every person I talked to who watched the ending of that friggin' show said, I haven't seen it, but everybody's like, holy crap.
I'm
Right.
just saying what I read on Twitter, or
Well,
I didn't
Twitter
read
can-
personally. I read online that people were saying on Twitter because Twitter can go suck a dick.
I was satisfied
I
with
think
Breaking
you were. I
Bad's
think you were
ending.
looking at the wrong social media. You were looking at Twitter because it's not the same. Not the
I
same
was
social
I was
media.
satisfied with the Breaking Bad ending. I wasn't satisfied with the Dexter ending.
No,
Dexter
that-
should have ended like Breaking Bad ended.
That I heard was really was
It
a
w-
horrible ending for Dexter.
Well, it was going in that direction, and then it just like,
Goes black, and then it's like years in the future,
and he's
like-
still alive.
He's in the
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert. He's a
fucking lumberjack.
Huge beard, and
And he just looks at
That's
his.
okay.
He looks at the camera and he
He
smirks.
works all
and he
night and he
ends.
sleeps all day.
Yeah, but he's the worst father ever. He
I just
just
messed it
left
up.
his
Never
son.
mind.
Goodbye. Anyway, I think he should have died. Personally, that's what I thought. But anyway,
Dexter Morgan, you should be dead.
And there's no just real quick though. There's no way that this spin-off is okay.
A Walking Dead, you mean?
The spin-off
Yeah.
is just going to be an oversaturation.
Pretty much. It's gonna be
Because
like
once
like
this
other
shows-
survivors
Because
somewhere
once,
else.
You know what? Because you know what AMC is going to freaking do. They're going to go, okay, hiatus, this one.
Yep.
This one hiatus, other one.
They
It's
did
going to
it,
be 12 months of the year
They
Walking
did-
Dead. That's
they-
going to be too much.
They did that with Spartacus.
Yeah.
When the original Spartacus got cancer, they're like, shit,
Can't.
we can't film, so we're gonna do a prequel. We're
Yes.
gonna film that until he's ready. And then he wasn't.
And
ready.
he was never ready.
Then he wasn't
Yeah,
ready.
did he die?
He
Yes,
died. He
he
did.
did.
He did
He
die.
passed away.
So they recast. They did the second season. The other guy
Cancer's
passed
not
away.
funny. I'm sorry.
Which is
Sadly, because he was good.
the
Don't get me wrong.
original Spartacus, Kirk Douglas,
Yeah.
somehow is still alive.
Yeah.
And he's
You-
what, 257 years old? His Michael Douglas is dead. How old is Michael Douglas?
Like 67,000 years old.
He's died 28 times, Michael Douglas. All right.
See, I see what you're saying about the spin-off, that it's gonna be, like it'll go and then the hiatus and go, but where it's their most successful TV show ever, they've never had more success with any show on AMC but The Walking Dead. You could see probably Comic Book Men, where it's now following it, get moved to another night again. Unfortunately, get shifted somewhere
Back to
around. Back to Thursdays, and you could probably see a Walking Dead block. Walking Dead.
Oh, please no!
spin-off,
Please
Talking
no!
Dead
Please no!
on Sunday night.
Probably, possibly, yeah.
You could see.
I make it
see a
sound.
block.
I make it sound like I hate The Walking Dead. I don't. It's just
there is a thing as called
There's
too much of a good thing,
Yeah, it's true.
It's called
There is-
CSI New York, Miami, New Jersey, Sheboygan.
or jumping the shark if you prefer.
There is.
Now-
Yes.
Okay.
See, Breaking Bad, they're doing their spinoff after it's done.
Exactly.
I wish
They're doing a
AMC
spin-off,
would
Better
just.
Call
Oh, yeah,
Saul.
you're right.
Why can't AMC come out with another quality original programming since The Walking Dead ended? Okay, The Killing, Hell on Wheels, and let's face it, Low Winter Sun hasn't exactly taken off into the stratosphere quite.
It's a
like,
cash cow that they're milking.
Well, they're just
What's-
not as.
There's one show I'm like, oh, I wish AMC was doing this show. The Following. With
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Bacon.
I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, if AMC or HBO did this show, this would be one fucking awesome show. It's good. It's good for primetime TV, but if AMC did it, or it'd be like it could go
Because
over the top.
Even AMC even lets their shows get away with a lot.
A lot of shit.
They get away with a lot.
Yes, they do.
Because even whenever, if you watch The Talking Dead, they go on, Greg Nicotero all the time says, I have no idea how they let me do this, but
Yeah.
they get away with a lot. The killing, some of the deaths on that show.
The deaths and everything, even in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
When Gus finally gets...
Let's not spoil it.
That's right.
when Gus... I'm like, shit, son.
All right. Okay. Let's change.
All right.
We can all agree, though, this is probably the golden age of television,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of the golden age of
Thank you.
television, first ever podcast book review with yours truly. I recently finished the book called Difficult Men, Behind the Scenes of a Creative Revolution from The Sopranos and The Wire to Mad Men and Breaking Bad, written by Brett Martin. It essentially tells a behind-the-scenes perspective on what's universally known now as... its official title is the third golden age of television.
First one was in the 50s, correct?
The first one, yes, apparently was in the 50s, early 1950s.
When was the second one?
In the 1980s,
Okay.
there was...
Oh, like Dynasty and all that, right?
No.
Who shot JR? No?
No, mostly TV
MASH.
dramas like Hill Street Blues
MASH.
and... No,
Was
MASH
Dallas
more
not a
than-
TV drama in the 80s? Thank you.
It was a soap opera, it's not a drama.
Oh, God's sakes.
There's a major difference. It's Saint Elsewhere and Hill Street Blues were the more dominant shows during that era.
Well, this is definitely the third.
Well,
Because you got a fucking good shows there.
in my opinion, it is the one and only golden age of television. So it basically deals the behind the scenes stories of how HBO, FX, AMC, and to a lesser extent Showtime basically started a creative revolution. They decided, you know what, we're gonna put quality stuff on TV. It's not just gonna be.
Because before, I used to watch a lot of Entourage. I watched them all.
Yeah.
And in that, they're like, I don't want to go to fucking TV. I want to be a movie star.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you want to be a fucking
Now you wanna
TV
go on
star.
TV, yeah.
All these Hollywood actors are doing these TV projects now. It's-
Fucking Woody Harrelson and
Matthew
Matthew
McConaughey.
McConaughey have a show coming
Yeah.
out on
True
HBO.
Detective.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like an anthology though, like similar to American Horror Story. I don't think they're gonna be
That's
past
fine.
season 2. It's still impressive to get like
Those two big names.
well, McConaughey is basically an A-list actor to be on a TV series.
Yeah.
It's pretty much unheard of. So basically, it tells the story of how The Sopranos came to be, then eventually leading into how 6 Feet Under was created, then Deadwood, and then it follows the creation of how the FX network got started with The Shield. It does cover it all.
Oh, Michael Chiklis.
Exactly.
and FX now has it has Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy,
it
American
has,
Horror Story.
Was it
Homeland.
Homeland?
No,
I think
Homeland
that's
is
Showtime.
Showtime.
That's Showtime.
FX has got some
It's
good
all
shows.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's
I
got
love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
This book, though, it does cover mostly TV dramas. Doesn't cover a lot of comedy, or
Yeah.
hardly ever. It does mention some briefly.
Well, I mean, in quite honesty, the golden age of television didn't start because of comedies. It started because of these said shows. There.
And then it eventually covers how the AMC network started running original programming.
Instead of Highlander marathons.
Exactly. John Wayne. No, like Mad Men and Breaking Bad, for instance.
Yeah, it's true. Once AMC started that, they kind of ran away with the competition for a while. They were...
Yeah, for a few years it's died down now. Because Breaking Bad's over
and Mad Men is coming
Mad
to
Men's
an
on
end.
hiatus.
It's not my joke, but they should have done a spin-off of Breaking Bad with Walt Jr. called Walking Bad.
Doesn't he have friggin' MS?
It's got cerebral palsy. Sorry, it's a joke.
Right
It's
now,
a joke.
Right now, AMC only has Walking Dead.
Right
That's
now,
all.
yeah.
That's
That's
their
all.
cash cow.
Basically,
That's their cash cow.
Well, Mad Men is still,
still on.
got
Mad
one
Men,
more
but
year.
it's almost done.
It is.
Yeah, it's got one more
It's
year.
on their last season. They're breaking it up to like 2 years or so.
Oh, really?
Over 2 years.
I don't know if Hell on Wheels is any good. I've never watched it.
Well, they moved it to Saturday night, so I don't think it's getting
That's
that
a
many
death slot,
views.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
that means not high
It
hopes.
is,
Yeah.
but the fact that it airs now at the same time as The Walking Dead, and they have a lead-in from the previous week's Walking Dead, I think it helps it.
Yeah.
Because people who watch The Walking Dead and want to watch it again or didn't watch it on
Yeah,
Sunday
but no
night-
one. I hate freaking talking about Nielsen ratings, but no one takes into account the reruns that much, do they?
No, but what I'm saying is, if I missed it on Sunday and I watched on Saturday, there's a good chance that I'm not going to change the channel after it comes down off because it's like, oh look, what's this? And I'll watch it.
And you're a lazy fucker.
It's true. If I can't find the remote, I'm not getting up.
Now, the title of the book, Difficult Men, basically, it's a spin on how a lot of these shows deal with anti-heroes as their main protagonists.
That's the style these days.
Yep. Punisher.
Very much so. Tony Soprano was not the nicest man, yet you rooted for him for 7 years.
Same thing for Walter White.
Well, Walter White started off.
You felt bad for him
It
at
was
first.
like, oh, the
Yeah.
poor guy has cancer and just wants
Yeah.
to make sure his family's provided for. And then he just went crazy.
He starts becoming an ass very early on, but Tony Soprano was...
Perpetual
Yeah.
ass.
Well, I'll read you an excerpt from the book that kind of deals with that.
Sopranos?
Yes, The Sopranos in particular. It says, within a few years, the idea that a TV protagonist couldn't kill somebody would seem as fusty and dated a convention as earlier generations not being able to share a bed or say the word pregnant on television. What remains shocking in College, which is an episode of the first season of The Sopranos, isn't the death itself, it's Tony's unmitigated relish in doing the deed. There is no tortured internal debate, even after his snooping reveals that Petrulio, now masquerading as Fred Peters, has a new family and small daughter of his own. No qualms even about Meadows' presence, other than the inconvenience it poses. Basically, Tony Soprano, while taking his daughter on a tour of universities, has stumbled upon a rat who was in witness protection program.
A rat bastard.
And strangles him to death with quite a bit of relish and glee.
So heartwarming stories, would you say?
There's a big story of how HBO, even HBO was like, you can't have your main character murder somebody in cold blood.
Well, first of all, the TV rules, that guy's never gonna die. And then Game of Thrones came on. You're like, you can't love anybody in this goddamn show. Because if you love anybody, they're gonna fucking die.
It's true.
Yeah.
That is a perfect segue into this next paragraph. It says, to be an actor on a TV show during the third golden age was to live in a permanent state of anxiety, one's mortality and unemployment forever lurking around the next plot twist. For some, death was just the beginning of a long, fruitful run of ghosts and dreams sequences. Most, though, understood that one of the period's signature tropes, that as in life, anybody could check out at any time.
It's true.
That's Game of Thrones in a nutshell.
Because Game of Thrones, in the very first season, and if you haven't watched it, spoiler alert, sorry, they take the only good guy, the
genuinely good guy.
The only
guy
guy.
he was good
and cut his fucking head off.
because he wanted to expose the truth.
Exactly.
Well, there is one genuinely good guy left. But
Yes. Are we talking about Tyrion?
no, Snow.
Snow's
Jon
good.
Snow.
Tyrion has a good heart.
He has a good
But
heart.
he's not a good guy.
He's not a good because of his last
That's
name.
it.
He's
That's
not
right.
a good guy.
You're not supposed to like him is the problem, but everybody does
Yes, that's the
because
thing.
he is deep down.
Yeah.
He wants to do the right thing.
Like
but
he gave Bran broke his legs, and he said, "Here's the contraptions. You can ride a horse again."
That's it.
Oh, it's so nice. And then he's like, "Damn it, I'm a Lannister. Everybody fucking hates me.
Now, one show that did take that to another level was The Wire.
I need to finish The Wire."
For those who haven't seen it, this book
I hear
does
amazing things about that show.
talk about The Wire quite a bit, and The Sopranos, as mentioned previously, mostly because they are considered by most critics to be the number 1 and number 2 best TV shows ever made. I've seen the first 4 seasons of The Wire, and I can honestly say that that's pretty accurate. The Wire, it kills off its characters without a lot of hoopla. Like,
Just moving on, kind of a thing.
well, it's just like you don't even have time to recover. You don't even have time to process what just happened.
They're moving on.
They're moving on.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it too much,
No.
though, but
No, because I want to watch it.
yeah.
So, sorry if we spoil Game of Thrones for you. I don't know if you plan on watching it.
Spoil alerts. You're gonna get that a lot. Spoil alert.
That's one thing we probably should have talked about earlier.
Yes.
Well, we have it on
we
topic.
have it on topic
I think
here.
we'll
Wrap
talk.
it up.
All right.
Yeah, we'll talk about it quickly. Unfortunately.
For Sons of Anarchy fans,
Yes, I'm one of them. I am one of those guys.
well, Terrence Winter and Tim Van Patten. Terrence Winter ended up creating Boardwalk Empire, another very popular HBO show.
Yeah.
Each had a development deal at the network, HBO. One day on set, they got talking about outlaw motorcycle gangs, and this is a quote from the book, but they say, "Hey, this is a TV series," Winter said. When he called Strauss, however, he was shocked by the executive's lack of encouragement. Apparently, Kurt Sutter, who would go on to create Sons of
Shield.
Anarchy.
Yeah. Who did the Shield?
Well, no, he was a writer on The Shield.
Oh, I thought he created it.
No, I forget the name of the creator of The Shield, but he was a prominent writer on The Shield, and then he was the creator showrunner of Sons of Anarchy.
Yes.
He pitched the idea of Sons of Anarchy to HBO, and it didn't go over very well. And HBO said no, and eventually Sons of Anarchy ended up on FX and became quite
And that's
a
a
hit.
violent show on FX.
Yeah.
So
It's an
imagine
extremely violent
it
show.
on HBO.
Mm.
That shit would have been. Woo!
Now, one last thing about HBO and about Game of Thrones.
Here we go. Now you got my interest.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Everything. I love all these shows. So
Well, HBO eventually, once The Sopranos ended, it had quite a bit of a bigger budget to spend on its other newer shows.
Yep.
So it's because if you look at Boardwalk Empire or Game of Thrones, the costumes, the sets,
Oh god.
those are multi-million-dollar episodes. So it's also in the spirit of HBO's earliest days, where you found almost comically gratuitous sex, often in the background during otherwise boring but necessary scenes. The critic Miles McNutt, great name, coined the term for it, sex position. The basic cable barbarians may have eaten away at chunks of HBO's brand, referring to AMC and FX, but now and forever, there would always be boobs, which is why
It is true. Everything has boobs on that show.
now,
there's people fucking every 2 seconds on Game
yeah,
of Thrones.
no. Have you ever watched Spartacus?
No.
Yeah.
Then no.
Spartacus
has it's blood, sex, it's decapitations, and good storytelling all at the same time.
True Blood's another example of that. It's just,
Rome had a bunch of it too.
Yeah.
yeah.
But if they can beat the gratuity, it's softcore porn,
It is.
Yeah.
but it's good.
It sells, I guess.
Well,
It was
HBO
good. I
can do
loved
it.
Spartacus.
HBO can do it.
But
They
it
say-
wasn't HBO. Spartacus is on
No,
Stars.
it was on Stars. Yeah, I know.
They all follow the same kind of formula now too.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, look, boobies, come, we have
But
boobies.
Banshee, you ever watch Banshee on HBO?
Banshee, no.
It's about a town or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, watch Banshee. I think
Yeah.
you would like it.
I'll
Have
look
you ever
into
seen
it.
Banshee?
I don't think I've ever even
It's
heard
this
of it.
one guy that goes to. He's a former criminal who just got out of jail.
Mm.
He goes back to this little community called Banshee. It's a town to find his girlfriend, who he was in a crime with. He was doing crime with, and the sheriff of that town gets gunned down in a bar that he's there at.
Okay.
So he takes over the identity of the sheriff.
Mm.
So he's basically a vigilante. So he's the anti-hero
Mm.
thing, and it's very violent,
Mm.
and it's gratuitous. I recommend you watch Banshee.
I just want to mention one thing real quick though. The writer of the book actually got behind the scenes access of the writers' rooms in a lot of these shows, The Sopranos and Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And for Breaking Bad, it talks about it for over 2 or 3 pages in the book. An idea for a certain episode, and eventually the writers ended up debating this idea for this particular episode for 4 or 5 days before coming to really what was a simple conclusion, and that it ended up taking up, I think, 87 seconds of screen time. So just to see what kind of the thought process, and it's not the writer's room, it's far more complicated than you would assume for TV shows like this. There's some smart guys in those rooms.
Yeah. All right, good talk. Now, real quick, we're going to talk about spoilers. We did a lot in this hour and 15 minutes already.
Maybe it's almost kind of appropriate that we did it. We did it just to
Time flies.
annoy people.
Spoiler talk. We're just gonna talk about it real quick. Yay or nay for spoilers?
Nay.
You're Jeremy's nay. I know a lot of people who don't give a fuck. I'm like,
It's not that I don't give a fuck.
When they
Major spoilers. Like, for somebody who hasn't seen the ending of Breaking Bad, let's not talk about what happens.
I told you guys this last week. I only recently finished Breaking Bad, and you guys were surprised that I haven't seen any spoilers.
Yeah.
I was spoiled.
And I don't like spoilers.
Me
I
neither.
like the element of surprise. For anything. For TV shows, movies, wrestling, MMA. MMA is the hardest one.
Yeah.
But everything else, I especially hate wrestling spoilers.
Yeah.
I hate wrestling. Like, oh, this guy returned. I'm like, oh, fuck, why'd you say that? Now yes, I'm a pro wrestler now, but I still have that mark inside of me that when I see somebody return, I'm like, yes, awesome. Because that's what wrestling's all about. But I'm not a big fan of spoilers, and with social media today, it's so hard. Every time I watch something, I'm like, I can't go on Twitter, I can't go on Facebook, because I'm just going to see...
Is there
Walking Dead, I'm probably only going to watch it tomorrow. I'm not going to go on Twitter or anywhere.
Is there a ground rule for spoilers? That's what I want to know. Is there a grace period, Troy? Is there a grace period?
There is a grace period, and
Listen to this schmuck's grace period, by the way.
Listen, as you said, social media, it's everywhere now,
Yeah,
right?
you can't avoid it.
You can't do anything. So, to be honest with you, I think the grace period, there's a few day grace period there. If you haven't watched it up to that point, and somebody says
You can't give someone a week, Troy.
No. Are you going to stay off the internet for a week? Are you going to not check
No.
your Facebook for a week if people have
That-
Facebook?
Going on Facebook, it's fine.
But you go on Facebook.
That's my fault if I go on Facebook. But someone walking around saying, "Hey, Walking Dead was pretty awesome last night when what's his face died." Is there any place?
First of all, why the fuck are you talking to me about Walking Dead? Do I know you?
Yeah, no, but even just general people.
Like friends.
Is there any
Like a group of friends.
Is there any acceptable time when that is an acceptable behavior? No, it's not.
I would never start a conversation
No.
like that. I would ask you, have you watched the episode? And if you say yes, great, we'll talk about it. If you say no,
You'll just hound me until I watch it.
I'll be like, okay, when are you going? Yeah, because I want to talk about it. You are one of the only other people that watch basically the exact same things I watch. So for me, I want to discuss it. If I have to wait a week,
See, I'm
too bad. I'm gonna make you.
Patience.
I'm gonna make you.
I'm that way with you probably don't know him. You guys might. Serge,
Yeah.
a guy who does the camera at HW there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I work with him. Okay, we watch pretty much the same as YouTube. We watch exactly the same thing, same movies. We listen to the same music.
Yeah.
And he's the type of guy, he doesn't care about spoilers. Like I said, I saw Carrie. He's like, oh yeah, how was it? And he wanted to know all the details. He's like, I don't care, I'm going to watch it anyway. He's that type of person. He doesn't care, he's going to watch it anyway.
I actually did that with Breaking Bad. I specifically asked someone how it ended, but I still want to see. I still want to see how. But I just want to.
See, I'm the other way around. I don't want to know. I want to experience it by myself.
That's the only time I broke that rule. I don't know why.
so I did the same thing.
Because
You
had to know.
As it ended that night, I jumped on Twitter to see the reactions and how.
Because I think-
I've never seen Breaking Bad. I haven't seen one episode of it.
The reason why is that almost I think what it was I needed to know how that ended Because if it didn't end the way it ended in my mind, I wasn't going to bother getting to that point of the story.
Here's an example.
You Tarantino'd it. You wanted to see how it ended, so now let's go back.
You were talking earlier about American Horror Story, which is perfect for this. Because I know American Horror Story, there's third seasons right now, but they don't follow each other. They're all
completely different stories, yes.
I started watching the first one, and a girl at work's like, "Oh, are you watching American Horror Story?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, I didn't know, blah, blah," and she spoiled the first season. I wasn't done. I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to fucking watch it now. I know what the punchline
At least you can jump to season 2, though.
But I didn't watch it because I lost interest. Even I know it's all different. I still didn't keep watching it.
You should have just jumped to season 2.
I should have.
There's nothing holding you back.
But I don't know. I'm like, oh, there's no point. But they're all different. But it's whatever.
Speaking of spoilers, though, Difficult Men actually does spoil quite a few key plot lines. So if you haven't seen a lot of these shows we're mentioning, maybe avoid the book. Otherwise, I failed to give my review earlier. It's a very entertaining and quick read. If anybody has any interest at all about the third golden age of television, please pick this book up and read it. It's very, very.
And if you're gonna have spoilers, warn before. Like, say spoiler alert, then give like 5 seconds of silence and then say it. Or like in a comment, when I spoil something, I always put in my comments spoilers below. Don't read if you haven't seen it. Then I write. That's usually what I do. But so you're an A, I'm an A, you're an A.
I'm an A, yes.
And you're a nay depending on the timeline.
You're an A-ish.
Nay-ish, depending on the timeline.
All right.
Dear listeners, we will be editing out any major spoiler that may slip out at any time.
Yes.
Which is probably going to happen quite a bit. It's already happened.
Good enough. Now
unless we're talking about
we said spoiler alert before them, so that's legit.
Yes. I said it a few times after, but I don't care.
That's fine. Major spoiler.
If it's been like 20 years since they're showing you haven't seen it, well, fuck off.
Too bad. I'm sorry.
Horsey?
Stop picking at your ear.
No, I'm bleeding.
Oh my god! Yes!
Workers' comp.
Crap! He's bleeding!
You can't see this on the podcast, but we got color. We have color.
It's a blade job!
More blade job than WWE these days.
This is a PG podcast. No,
Break
it's
it, kayfabe.
We're breaking the fourth wall.
So finally, a bit of video games.
We can maybe just talk about this one.
Yeah, we'll talk about that
the other
one.
ones.
Nah, the other ones are fine.
We can save that for another time.
Yeah, nobody
Even
cares.
Lego.
Nobody cares about that. I'll
Probably
talk
the
about that
biggest game that's come out.
Because it came out this week, did it?
It came out Friday.
Okay.
Batman Arkham Origins. I'm the only one who has played it here.
By the way, why did they go with do you know why they came out with a Friday release? Is there a reason behind that?
Because this coming Tuesday, you have Battlefield 4, you have Assassin's Creed 4, you have WWE 2K14, and it usually comes out on Tuesday.
So it's strictly strategic
marketing. Strategic marketing Friday. You got a lot of sales that'll keep people going till Tuesday. You'll beat the heat basically, because not everybody can afford, on those days. So they're like, which one I'm going to take? Am I going to take Assassin's Creed? Am I going to take Batman? Or am I going to take Battlefield?
You're going to get the dollars first.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's why they did it, which is smart.
We're talking, of course, of
Batman Arkham Origins. I'm not even done. It's I have on 360, Xbox 360. It's a two discs, and I'm only on 20% of the first disc, and I've been playing since fucking Friday. So I've been playing a lot. It's awesome. You guys saw me play it earlier.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like the other two, but they just added a few more elements. It's prettier, I find, than the other two. Any questions? I think you guys had questions that you probably wanted to
I'll be starting it tonight.
Okay.
So we'll definitely be able to talk more
next time.
Next time. 'Cause I'll be starting it tonight.
They're going origin story. It's Batman's year 2.
It's
his year 2 of being Batman. So a lot of stuff hasn't happened. Like, he has no idea who the Joker is. He finds out who the Joker is in this game. Harley Quinn is not introduced yet as Harley Quinn. She's Harleen Quinzel.
Oh, the psychiatrist.
Yes, and they do meet up.
Oh,
so they
nice.
show
that
how.
whole thing.
Yes, and I think Woody, me and you earlier when I was playing, I said, "Oh shit!" When Batman figured out he went to Bane's headquarters, he was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Are we gonna see the famous backbreaking scene?" I think we are.
So they just kind of flip that whole timeline altogether.
I'm crossing my fingers that happens. So it's really Origins. It says it well. It's Batman's Origins. So yeah, it's a good game. I think you'll love it actually. If you're a big Batman fan, you're gonna love it.
I enjoyed the voice acting for Batman. I didn't think Kevin Conroy is Kevin Conroy.
It's not Kevin Conroy.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
It's not Kevin
Conroy. No, it is Kevin Conroy.
Nope. Nope. Look it up.
It doesn't. It sounds a bit like Conroy.
I looked it up a while ago.
Pretty sure he said he was coming back for the game.
Maybe Arkham City 2.
Pretty much, you're full of crap.
Okay, well,
Because Batman.
we have IMDb, so I'm gonna
Arkham City 2 is coming. I know Mark Hamill's not the Joker in
No.
this one. It's Troy Baker. We listened to it last
Yeah,
Sunday.
does an awesome
and he
job.
does a great job in the game. Fantastic job.
He actually did voice work for Arkham
did.
City.
Yeah.
He played Robin.
He does a lot of voiceover. He's like the Nolan North of video game voice
No,
acting.
you're right. It's Roger Craig Smith.
Yeah.
He sounds like Conroy,
It's
but
it's a perfect voice for
Why
Batman.
can't he do the Christian Bale?
nobody can do the Christian Bale.
I don't think it really matters.
No, it doesn't really.
Swear to me, douchebag.
Swear to me. No.
He doesn't. I thought it was okay.
Everybody's got the Christian Bale.
Yeah, everybody
impression,
can
so
do
I
a
guess-
Christian Bale, pretty much. Just like everybody can do a Macho Man.
You know what? I honestly, we guess you're gonna laugh, and probably was maybe too late in production, but maybe the next game that comes out, you think Ben Affleck would do it just for fun? Just get people in the mood for it. I would do it. I would. Why not?
I don't think he would.
No, probably not.
I got a number. How do you like them apples? Oh no, that's Matt Damon.
It's Kevin Conroy's gonna come back
No,
for
but
the next
those
Batman
video
game.
game gigs are freaking easy. You sit in a studio and you just read paper. That's why Mila Kunis still does Family Guy, because she says it's the easiest job in the world. She can come in her PJs and do it.
She can come to my room in PJ. God damn. Shit balls. So Batman Arkham Origins, a good game.
Who are the villains?
Oh,
You mentioned the
who
Joker.
aren't the villains?
So, I don't know.
Is this going to spoil it for people,
No,
by the way?
it's not going to spoil it. The story, do you know the story of the game going in?
Well, I know the Batman's origin
Okay.
story.
well, it's Black Mask
Exactly. Black Mask puts
hires.
$50 million bounty.
You mean the Red Skull ripoff?
Yes.
No, actually, Black Mask was first.
Is it? You
Yes,
sure?
Black
Okay,
Mask was
all right.
first.
Are you sure Red Skull came out in like the 60s?
Black
didn't it?
Mask was first.
All right.
He puts bounty on Batman. He hires 8 assassins: Bane, Shiva, Copperhead.
Which is a female in this game.
yes.
Which I'm very...
Well, they talk about it. The Batman's like, "Oh, I have things about a male, nothing about a female."
Yeah, usually he's a male.
Bane, Killer Croc, Shiva, Copperhead, Deathstroke,
Deadshot.
Electric. I can't say his fucking-
Electrocutioner.
that guy, and I'm missing one.
These are kind of like middling.
Pyro, not Pyro. What the
Oh,
fuck? Firefly.
Firefly, yes.
Those are the 8.
Okay.
Those are the 8 main
So,
villains.
not
There's
exactly
sub villains.
household
Riddler.
names.
Riddler's in there. It's the
Okay.
first appearance of Riddler. He doesn't know who Riddler
Oh,
is.
okay.
He names him Enigma and shit
yeah.
like that. Mad Hatter is in it.
No Killer Moth.
Nope.
Let down.
Mad Hatter. There's
No Calendar Man.
There is an appearance by Calendar
Calendar
Man.
Man does make an appearance.
Thank God.
It's
And Joker, obviously. Joker.
I'm just making fun of them because of the horrible names for villains.
well,
Calendar Man's a great villain. This is a horrible name. That's all I'm saying.
it's a horrible premise for the idea of it.
Yeah, I
you
wouldn't
know,
call him a great villain either.
because
I think it's kind of neat that he commits crimes on certain dates.
Doesn't that make him quite predictable?
it does actually. Yes, it does. But you have to figure out the crime before you commit it, right? So
I would argue that the Riddler's the same thing. He has
It
a riddle,
is.
solve it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
it.
got him beat.
The Riddler's issue is he has to leave a riddle of the next crime he's going to do.
Yeah,
so for him, it's a lot easier to figure out what he's going to do.
Barbara Gordon is also introduced.
Okay.
Yes, I could see Barbara being introduced
She
early
is.
on.
She is introduced. So yeah.
But
I
she'd
guess
still
technically
be-
this isn't really spoilers because you probably learned all this in the friggin' beginning of the game, like first bit, isn't it?
Yeah, like it was. Well, everything I just said was in the beginning. Like
Ah,
I've.
okay.
Too early to give like a rating score of the game.
Yeah.
First impression.
Right. For first impression, I really like it. I had a few glitches. The game froze on me like 4 times already. I had to restart 4 times.
But that's probably just in your Xbox. We're not even going to worry about that.
It never
Just
freezes
keep looking
on
through
me.
rose-colored glasses there, Troy.
Just look over there. I got a Wii U, I got a 360, I got a PS3, I got a NES, I got a Super NES, I got an N64.
well equipped.
I'm not biased. I buy everything. But yeah. So
I didn't read anything on the review that anybody did online. I just wanted to see the scores. This game has actually gotten some of the worst reviews in the trilogy
wow.
so far. A lot of people didn't like it
I find it's pretty good so
as
far.
much.
Well, the other 2 games were among the best games of the year
Yes,
when
they
they were released.
were,
weren't
yeah.
they?
But
Especially Asylum.
But we're also with a different company now too, right? Different
Yes.
production. It's not the same that put out Arkham and
It's WB Montreal,
Yes.
and it used to be
It
Rocksteady.
used to be Rocksteady.
But it's the same. They haven't changed anything. It's still the same
The game-
gameplay, still the same style.
Well, that might be a negative
But
because some people might think, well, after 2 games, the third game, why can't they change
No,
it up a little bit?
hey, when you have a formula, you stick with it. I'm
Well,
sorry,
look at Grand
but,
Theft Auto. Like,
I think the reason too a lot of people didn't like it, the story. It wasn't written by Paul Dini this time around,
oh yeah,
right? So he wrote the first 2. This one wasn't written by Paul Dini, so it might not have that same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for a guy who's been writing Batman comics and TV shows and movies for 20 years now, going back to the 90s cartoon, whenever you take that element away, it is going to change it up a little bit. So
I mean, I still like it.
No, I'm not. I'm saying it has nothing to do with the same format of the game because
No.
who's sick and tired of Mario Brothers jumping around getting a mushroom?
I'm not
Just
passing
saying.
judgment on the game until I played it. Like I said,
yeah. I still really want to play it too.
the reviews I saw, I mean, they weren't horrible. They were 7.6s.
Well,
so,
that's still good.
it's still good, but compared to what the other 2 got,
Anything under 6 for me is like, ugh.
yeah. So I'm not passing judgment on what they put. I mean,
It's a
I'm
solid
probably going to
score.
rate the game very well whenever I play
Exactly.
it.
I'm the same way. I want to have my own opinion. I don't not that I don't trust anybody. I just want my own opinion.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a fair way to look at things.
Yep.
I think that's
So,
a nice way to wrap it up. Don't
That's
you
a
think?
nice way to wrap it up. So let's do a few plugs really quickly.
Really, really quickly, I just want to name drop and recommend Far Out East Cinema.
And this is, of course, if you're in our area where we live in, which is Moncton,
Greater
New Brunswick.
Moncton area.
The
Yeah.
Greater Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada.
On every Tuesday, Wednesday night at 8 p.m. at the Amphithéâtre 163 Jacqueline Boulevard building at the Université de Moncton.
So at the University of Moncton, there's a theater there, really
Just read
cheap
the English
prices.
portion of the freaking thing
That's going to be
That
the
was the
most
English
French
portion.
you're ever going to hear on this podcast.
on a podcast called French Fanboys.
I
Ironically
apologize.
enough.
And
the
one of
most French.
them's not even French.
Well, not 100%.
He can speak
I can
French.
speak French.
Okay.
You'll never hear me speak it.
And this week they'll be playing 20 Feet from Stardom, which is apparently a very good documentary about the life of several backup singers
Okay.
for some major artists
Yeah.
like Bruce Springsteen, Mick Jagger, Stevie Wonder, I guess, do talking head interviews for this documentary. It premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in January, and it's got a lot of positive reviews. So if you're into that type of thing, go see it. It's only $7.
It's cheap. It's cheap movies that you won't see in the big theaters, basically.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, that's good. Was there anything else?
Yeah, one more thing. Black Hawk Down was rented from Spin It Video,
Oh,
Main Street, Moncton,
There you go.
on Blu-ray.
That's why you want. Okay, now I get it. All right.
Best selection in
nice,
town.
Nice segue.
DVDs, Blu-rays.
That's where I buy my vintage video games. Most of them.
Yeah. Also
go.
video games, also vinyl.
we love you, Spin It.
That's where I got my copy of Mario RPG. Nice price. Yeah.
And they've got a huge selection of DVDs.
We
to
might.
rent.
We should ask Pat if he wants to join on this podcast one day.
Well, I already talked to him about it. So
All right. Well, good.
we'll see.
Anything you want to promote?
Just you can promote your thing first. And
next Sunday, November 3rd, the Coverdale Rec Center. Fuck, I'm doing like a regular.
be there.
Be there. Sunday. I am going to be wrestling for IHW. Yeah, so you can visit ihwrestling.com for all the details. I will be there kicking butt.
Where is it?
The Coverdale Rec Center in Riverview, New Brunswick,
What
Canada.
time?
7 p.m. bell time. $15 for adults, $12 for children under 13. Don't you dare miss it.
You pay full price for the seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Pretty much.
Do you have any plugs you want to...
Follow us on Twitter at French Fanboys, Facebook French Fanboys. You can email us all of your complaints.
To Jer-
Put the subject Jeremy Richard in the subject.
Put Jeremy Richard, you're a big asshole.
That's right. We will track those. At,
All your anti-Semitic.
that'll be
comments.
FrenchFanboys@gmail.com. And for next time, I don't know if there's going to be a special sign off, or do anybody want to come up with a sign off right now before we have 5 seconds go?
I don't know if this... we're probably going to get sued, but we're going to go with a classic. I'm a Batman fan, so I'm going to throw this all the way back to Adam West
Oh, God.
style Batman.
It links to the Arkham Origins,
It
which
does.
is suitable.
It links to the Batman.
It's appropriate.
It's going to be a horrible segue into some more Batman. But
Email us maybe suggestions
That's
for
right.
sign-offs in the meantime.
But for this one, this
God.
week, we're going to just say, catch us again at the same bat time, same bat channel.
The same fan time,
Fan time.
same fan channel.
Also,
Fandemic.ca.
Fandemic.ca, there we go.
It's a website coming. I'm working on it. On there is going to be this podcast. There's going to be Johnny Chase is a friend of mine and Mark's, not really of you two, but sorry Chase, but you don't know these two really. He does videos, achievement horror, and he plays games with his girlfriend called Couples Play. Me and Mario have a show actually called Vulgar Display of Gaming. That's going to be on there. We just did an Arkham Origins episode. Well, actually, me and Chase. So that's on YouTube. Everything's going to be on a nice little community website.
It's the hub for all we do here. Fandemic.ca.
So it's going to be on Fandemic.ca. That's going to be coming soon. So until next time, kiddies.
Love you. Watch The Master. Excellent film.
Bye-bye.